This is a Mugstain Productions podcast.
Welcome to Tranquil Trails, a Pokémon journey by Mugstain Productions. In this world, you are a wandering researcher exploring the wonders of the nocturnal Pokémon life. Together, with your partner Pokémon Umbreon, you'll uncover the secrets of each habitat, see incredible Pokémon, and make some lifelong friends along the way. So, take a deep breath, settle in, and let the wonderful world of Pokémon guide you to a moment of calm. This is your time to relax, dream, and journey with us through Tranquil Trails.
The warm ceramic of your mug presses gently against your palms as you finish the last sip of your drink, the lingering sweetness of orangeberry tea coating your tongue. The Pokémon Center is calm this time of day, the soft hum of the healing machines blending with the muffled chatter of a pair of trainers discussing strategies in a far corner.
Heading into the forest tonight?
You look up to see Nurse Joy walking out from the back. She wipes her hands on a towel as she steps closer to the counter where you've set your mug. You nod, reaching down to scratch behind Umbreon's ear as they sit neatly by your stool. Their crimson eyes gleam, already sensing the shift in the air as dusk approaches.
Beedrill are particularly territorial this season. Stay on the marked paths, and if you see any, back away slowly.
You smile, swinging your pack over one shoulder. You already know to keep your distance, and besides, Umbreon is always good at keeping you in line. As if on cue, Umbreon nudges against your leg.
Looks like someone's eager to go.
You offer Nurse Joy a wave as you head toward the door. The automatic glass panels slide open with a faint hiss, and the cool evening air brushes against your skin. Outside, Viridian City hums with quiet life. Streetlights flicker to life one by one, their golden glow casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets. A young trainer rushes past you, her backpack bouncing against her shoulders as a Spearow flits above her head. Beyond the rooftops, the towering trees of Viridian Forest form a dark, sprawling silhouette against the deepening orange and purple hues of the sky. Umbreon takes the lead as they guide you toward the forest's entrance. With every step, the noises of the city, footsteps, distant chatter, fade, replaced by the whispering rustle of leaves stirred by a gentle breeze. You adjust the straps of your pack. This isn't your first time venturing into Viridian Forest, but each visit feels different. That's part of the charm, you suppose. The edge of the forest greets you with a sudden drop in light, the canopy above filtering out the last fiery streaks of sunset. The air here is cooler, damp with the faint tang of moss and earth. A Pidgey flutters low across your path, its wings stirring a stray leaf, and you catch the faintest trill of a Kricketot from deeper within. Your goal tonight is clear: to observe and document the interactions of bug Pokémon under the cover of darkness. You tighten your grip on your notebook, its pages waiting to be filled with sketches, notes, and the occasional smudge of dirt or sap. It's always worth it, you think, to catch even a fleeting glimpse of the forest's nocturnal secrets. Umbreon pauses just ahead, their glowing rings brightening slightly. You stop, following their gaze as the last sliver of sun slips behind the horizon. The forest exhales, its dusk song beginning. A symphony of chirps, buzzes, and the occasional hoot of an owl-like Pokémon. It's not loud, but layered, each sound weaving into the next, creating a rhythm as steady and soothing as a heartbeat. You take your first step into the shadows of Viridian Forest, your senses sharpening as the world around you shifts into its nocturnal dance. Then you hear it. A faint, high-pitched cry, sharp against the forest's symphony. You stop, and Umbreon's ears perk up, swiveling toward the sound. It's coming from somewhere in the undergrowth to your left, where the foliage thickens. You crouch low, pushing aside a cluster of ferns with careful fingers. The cry comes again. Weaker this time, and then you see it. A Weedle lying motionless on the forest floor. It tries to move away from you, but all it can do is tremble against the moss. You poor thing. Umbreon sniffs the air, their nose twitching as they move closer. You reach into your pack for your canteen. Pouring a few drops into the palm of your hand, you kneel closer. The Weedle stirs weakly as the water touches its small, segmented mouth, and you can almost feel its relief. There you go, just a little something to perk you up. Gently, you cradle the tiny Pokémon in your hands. It's like holding a cluster of leaves that might scatter in the wind. You tilt your head, observing its condition. Its skin is dull, its little legs hanging limp. Maybe it fell from a branch or got startled by a passing predator. Either way, it's clear this little one needs help. Umbreon steps closer and mews at you. You give them a reassuring glance, then look back to your pack. A small scarf you use for wiping sweat during longer treks is tucked into one side. It'll do. Carefully, you knot the scarf into a makeshift pouch, tying it securely against your chest. You tuck the Weedle inside. Its small body shifts slightly, and for the first time, its trembling seems to ease. This wasn't where you saw the night heading. You know what Nurse Joy said, to stay clear of the Beedrill this season, but you couldn't leave the poor thing out here all alone when night is about to fall. Don't worry, little one. We'll get you home. Umbreon nudges your knee with their nose, urging you to move again. You follow their lead, stepping carefully along the narrow dirt path. The forest around you is shifting now, the last remnants of dusk fading into the embrace of night. Ahead, a caterpie inches its way along a low-hanging branch. You pause to watch as it weaves delicate threads of silk. The light catches on the threads, making them shimmer faintly like tiny strands of starlight. Nearby, a butterfree flutters lazily toward the same branch, its wings moving with a languid grace. It settles in close to the caterpie, laying its wings against the bark for the night. Further along, a group of Pidgey huddles together on a high branch, their small bodies pressed close, feathers ruffled in a shared warmth. One lets out a soft coo, barely audible over the faint rustling of leaves. You can't help but smile at the sight. The rustling of leaves draws your attention to the base of a nearby tree, where a Pikachu scrambles up the trunk with surprising agility. In its mouth, it clutches a plump berry. You watch as it disappears into a hollow. A faint series of squeaks following soon after. It's feeding its young. You glance down at Weedle, its small body rising and falling steadily with each breath. If this little guy can't make it home, perhaps it would want to stay with you once you get it all fixed up at a Pokémon Center. Umbreon gives a soft chuff as they lead you onward. The path twists and narrows, the forest growing darker and denser. And then you see it, a faint golden glow just beyond a thick curtain of leaves. It flickers gently, like light filtering through cracks in a wooden lantern, warm and alive. You pause, your breath catching for a moment. The sight is mesmerizing. A massive tree, ancient and gnarled, its trunk wide enough to shelter a small house. High above, nestled among the branches, a Beedrill hive pulses. Honeycombed structures cling to the bark, their golden glow spilling onto the ground below. The air buzzes faintly, a sound so low and constant that you almost feel it more than hear it. You crouch low, brushing aside a stray fern, and take a moment to soak it all in. Incredible. A whole colony working together, thriving in the middle of this vast forest. You glance down, adjusting the scarf slightly. The Weedle stirs faintly, its nose twitching. Is this your home? Umbreon glances back at you before creeping forward. You follow with slow steps, mindful of every rustle, every crackle underfoot. The hive is closer now, its glow illuminating the branches around it like a halo. You stop a few meters away, crouching again to keep your movements small and unthreatening. Your heart beats a little faster. Beedrill are territorial, yes, but they are also much more intelligent than people like to give them credit for. Carefully, you untie the pouch from your chest and lift the Weedle out. Time to go home. You step forward, just close enough to place the Weedle on a low branch near the base of the hive. You take a step back, and another, until you're at a safe distance, crouching low to watch. The hum changes. It's subtle, a shift in tone and rhythm that signals awareness. A few Beedrill emerge from the trees, wings vibrating with a low, resonant sound. They hover near the Weedle, circling it slowly. You watch, resisting the urge to move or speak. Their inspection is thorough, their antennae twitching. For a moment, you dare not even breathe. Then, one Beedrill moves closer, its stinger lowering slightly as it carefully lifts the Weedle with its slender arms. It's gentle and tender as it carries the Weedle up to place it on a branch beside the big hive. Time to go. You turn around in search of a nice place to set up camp for the night before it gets too cold. Umbreon jumps around in a small circle when you find a spot far enough away from the path and closer to where you might see some nocturnal action. The clearing is small but cozy, bordered by ferns and low-hanging branches. Overhead, the stars peek through gaps in the canopy. This will do nicely. Umbreon noses at a pile of dry twigs near the base of a tree, nudging them toward you. You chuckle, crouching to ruffle their fur. They're better at this than you are. You pitch your tent, and the fabric rustles gently as you secure the last corner. The fire comes next, small and contained, its crackling flames casting a warm orange glow that dances across the clearing. You sit cross-legged beside it. As the forest settles into its nocturnal rhythm, you can't help but notice the subtle activity around you. Just above, perched on a low branch, a hoot-hoot stirs. Its round body swivels, one eye opening slowly, then the other as it stretches its wings lazily. It lets out a soft rhythmic coo before flapping upward, disappearing into the shadows of the trees to begin its nightly hunt. Further up, the delicate glimmer of a spinarak's web catches your eye. The web hangs between two branches. The spinarak itself moves quietly, adding finishing touches to its intricate creation. You can't help but marvel at the artistry, the way each strand connects to the next. Your attention shifts as a rustling in the undergrowth near the edge of the clearing draws your gaze. For a moment you expect to see a rattata or perhaps a curious caterpie. Instead, a small, round oddish hops into view, its leaves swaying with each cheerful bounce. It pauses just outside the glow of the fire, tilting its body curiously as if debating whether to come closer. Well, hello there. The oddish doesn't startle. If anything, it seems encouraged, bounding closer until it stands just a few steps from you. You laugh softly, reaching into your pack to retrieve a berry. Here, a little midnight snack. The oddish hesitates only briefly before snatching the berry with surprising speed. It holds the fruit tightly in its tiny leaves. You stifle another laugh as it emits a happy squeak and scurries off into the bushes, the berry clutched tightly. That one's got some personality. You sit by the fire, staring into the flickering flames, when a faint buzz drifts through the forest, just at the edge of hearing. Umbreon's ears twitch, and they lift their head. Something's happening back at the Hive. You stand, brushing off your pants, and glance at Umbreon, who rises with you. Let's go check it out. As you walk, a low hoot echoes through the stillness. You glance up and spot a noctowl perched high on a gnarled branch, its large, round eyes fixed on you. Its feathers catch the moonlight, shifting from deep browns to soft golds as it tilts its head. It hoots again, softer this time, acknowledging your presence. The faint hum grows louder as you near, and as you step closer, the Hive comes into view. And there, on a branch just outside the Hive, is the Weedle. The sight stops you in your tracks. It glows faintly, its small body surrounded by a shimmering light that pulses gently like the heartbeat of the forest itself. The Beedrill hover nearby, their sharp, angular bodies moving as they keep watch. You crouch low, keeping your movements slow and unthreatening. Umbreon stays close by your side, their gaze fixed on the glowing Weedle. The light intensifies, spilling across the branch and illuminating the bark with a soft, golden hue. Then it happens. The Weedle's form begins to shift, its segmented body elongating, smoothing out as the glow envelops it fully. You watch, breath held, as the light pulses one final time and fades. leaving behind the gleaming shell of a kakuna. You feel a swell of relief. This little one, lost and vulnerable just hours ago, is now taking its next step in the cycle of life. The fire is still glowing faintly when you return to camp. The air feels cooler now, touched by the gentle chill that only comes in the deepest hours of the night. Avenona has decided that your tent is as good enough of a place as any to have a snooze and is tucked up beside your tent. Careful not to wake it, you tiptoe around to sit by the fire. You kneel to add a few small sticks to the fire, coaxing it back to life. Umbreon circles once before settling beside you, their sleek body curling into a neat ball. You reach into your pack, pulling out your weathered journal. The cover is smooth under your fingers, marked with scuffs and tiny indentations from your many journeys. Opening to a fresh page, you begin to write, your pen moving slowly across the page. Every Pokémon has a place, a role, and a journey. Helping this Weedle find its way reminded me that even the smallest acts of kindness can echo in the natural world. Tonight, the forest reminded me that nothing is ever truly lost. It just needs a chance to find its way home. You wonder, just for a moment, what that kakuna will grow into. Perhaps one day, when you return to Viridian Forest, there will be a Beedrill watching from the branches, its gaze familiar, its hum a subtle acknowledgement. A small piece of this night carried forward. The thought makes you smile as you close your eyes. The sounds of the forest lulling you. Crickets chirping, leaves rustling in the breeze, the faint, distant hum of the hive. The forest is alive, and for tonight, you are a part of its story.
Our journey for tonight comes to an end, but the trails of the Pokémon world are endless. Thank you for joining us as we explored another chapter of Nocturnal Wonders. Until next time, may the stars guide your path, and may your dreams be as vibrant as the Pokémon we've met tonight. Rest well, and I'll see you again soon.